Hello there, everyone. I know I'm just kind of popping on unexpectedly, so I apologize. But I wanted to bring this part two to everybody today in regard to Astroworld. So hopefully, this every people start getting notifications that I'm live, and we will then begin to get some people to fill up the room. So I will say this. I took even a deeper dive than I did before into the numerology, into all of the ins and outs, into some of the things I was beginning to see. And I wanted to even go deeper into the astrology. So let's continue as this unfolds. Let's continue to examine Astroworld, the tragedy. Let's continue to examine uh, the ritualistic aspects of this. And I think we're going to begin to discover some very interesting things. So let's play the intro and then I'll be right back. Hello, everyone. So sorry. Let's try that again. Um, so, what I was saying was earlier in the week, I went ahead and I did, that would be like November 9th, I think it was. I did a deep dive or a semi deep dive into the astrology, into his chart and the then subsequent, um, the transit chart, and how all of the energies surrounding him and his natal chart, him being Travis Scott, just perfectly aligned for something like this to happen. And so we then discussed as well the darkness of it. So a little bit about the frequencies, a little bit about the number 8, a little bit about some of that things, and some of how in this whole scenario he took what was of the light, which is typical to take of what's of the light, and then for the darkness, for shadow energy, for them to use it in their fashion. I mean, the honest to goodness reality of it is that the shadow cannot create anything. You don't create things from shadow energy. You manipulate and you transmutate, or you mutate that which is created in the light. Okay? It just, that's just the way it is. It's the way it works. That energy is not vibrationally high enough to actually create, I will say, light life forms. I suppose there is a reality in which you can create things in a dark fashion, but this whole scenario, this astral world scenario, to me, yes, I didn't want to say ritual ahead of time, and I'm but as things are unfolding, let me just say that there are a number of synchronicities and coincidences that are pointing to this was the perfect time to create this level of chaos and death and destruction. So I want to thank you guys for being here. I see that there's a comment in the chat, for those of you who are not watching the replay of the chat, that so many people seem mad that astrologers and spiritualists are speaking out, but at the same time, I'm assuming but the time of weird celebrity worship is dying. Abso-freaking-lutely. Absolutely. So let me speak on that for a second. I wish I was on Restream now so I could talk to that even further. Let me tell you something. We have to stop. We have to stop worshiping these celebrities. We have to stop worshiping, in a weird way, people that are in power in any fashion, in any area of the world of our lives. We have to stop. When I've been talking, and now I'm going to get back to what we originally was talking about before. So hear me out. When those of us in the spiritual realm have been saying, some of us have been saying that the time of the Savior is over, some people take that very incorrectly. Some people take that to say that I'm somehow now defaming or being heretical and talking about, oh, like I'm denying the existence of any of Jesus, let's just say that, or any other messianic being. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is we have moved out of this time of salvation, of the need for the messianic, and we're coming into this age of Aquarius, of inner gnosis, of knowing and actually integrating the consciousness that was put forward to us from, we'll say, Christianity and some other belief systems, Buddhism, Hinduism. We can start naming them, okay? Just insert here, okay? We're leaving that external, I don't know that I need something externally to complete me, and I'm seeking something outside myself to then come in and save me. And now we're coming into the gnosis, knowledge, Gnosis, of that we have within us everything that we need. It is the then connection to higher self and higher reality that then becomes an internal consciousness elevation, where if you are ascending, you go up in frequency. The problem with us continually as a culture, as a people, as a globe, always looking to the elites or the celebrity or the actor or the singer or the this or the that, the YouTuber, as some sort of god or goddess that is elevated far and above ourselves, is we end up following the Pied Piper down this road of consciousness that for some people have led them down a pathway where they transition to the other side. When somebody stands up on a podium and says, meet you on the other side, y'all know what we came here to do. Them people did not know what they came there to do. Those people in the crowd did not know what they really were there all day, what they were there to do. Can we just be very, very clear? They did not know. They came because, and I'm not saying they were worshiping Travis Scott, so please don't jump down in the comments with a bunch of bullshit, okay? So I'm not saying that. What I am saying is we idolize, we make these individuals idols. And I briefly talked about, well, not briefly, but I talked about this in my previous video that you will be able to see. I'm going to make a little playlist because we're going to dive. We might have one more part to this. Music does something to you. Music does something to you. Music does something to your spirit. Right? Music does something to your soul. Music, frequency, sound, words does something to the cells in your being. We've talked about this many times before, and I'm sure you will talk about it again, but you guys Google this whole thing about the speaking over water experiment, right? And when love and peace and joy and all these things were spoken over these water molecules, how they became these beautiful, look like snowflakes, and they reconfigured in these beautiful shapes. But when things like anger and rage and destruction and hate were spoken over the molecules, they reconstructed as well. Or I should say they more deconstructed, and it was very scattered, and it was You could feel and sense the anger and the destruction and the chaos that was spoken into the water molecules. You are 70% plus water. So when these young people, whatever you're listening to, young or old, I don't care, I'm in the middle, that frequency does something to you. So now, if I were to sing this to you, worthy is the Lamb that was slain, holy, holy is he. Sing a new song to him who sits on heaven's mercy seat. That does something to you, right? That does something to you. That does something to you. But now if I was going to sit here and rap WAP to you, which I won't do because I'm sure it may offend some people, or tell you it's up and it's up and it's up and it's stuck, right? If I was going to, if I go there, you gonna get a whole different feeling. You'll be like, well, dang, girl, I didn't know you were such a Cardi B fan. But my point is this: follow me here. Walk with me. It does something to you. So when he gets up on this and everywhere, you know, let me go ahead on. Let me. I'm not gonna sit here and just give you and just talk at you. Okay. I want us to look at something here. So I don't think it's on here. So let's look at this these pictures, these posters. So here we have Astroworld, and as some of you may know, I've since found out there's all these rides here. There's one ride that kind of, I think there's a ride there. Anyway, one of the themes on his posters for these festivals that has been, from what I have seen, rather it's a theme, right? Every year there's always this roller coaster that's descending down into the pits of hell. But y'all sending y'all children's here. But y'all going here. Now you could do whatever you want. You know what I'm saying? You got your free will. But what I'm going to propose to you is cosmically, what ended up happening, or energetically, is people's free will were hijacked. Now let me circle this back to this celebrity and this idolization. So what happens is we ingest this music, we ingest these movies, we ingest this information on, you know, the media, or through blogs, or through you know, newspapers, you know, online when we read them, online news or what have you. We're ingesting this information, and every word that is spoken and every note that is sung and played is doing something to our very energetic being. It's putting us into some form of a trance, because this reality is, darlings, there is word magic, there is sound magic, there is thought magic. Our worlds are magic. Every prayer that is spoken, every song that is sung, every word that is written and read is magic. Every thought you think, every little thing she does is magic, right? The Police, anybody remember that in the 80s? Every little thing she does is D-O, D-O. Right, okay, y'all tracking with me. Some of y'all might not be in that age range, and some of y'all might be like, you are really cross-cultural. Yes, I am. But my point is this: every little thing, everything. So now for years now he's had this. For years he's had that. For years, he's been prepping his groupies, his fans, his stands. We're going to descend into the pits of hell at some point. We're going to go to the underworld at some point. He's been preparing them. Hey, Tyler. He's been preparing them, guys. Let's not get this twisted. The preparation has been real. So this is for this one. Now I want you to look at some of the things in this. You see this, it's coming from both sides, right? Coming down into the descent. Astroworld looking very matrixy, doesn't that? Yeah, that lettering looks very much like the Matrix. You have people that are sliding down, some head first. I want you to notice on the right-hand side, the person that's sliding this way, like they are trying to stop, but they can't. And then we have this phantom face on the lower right-hand corner. I want you to pick up on something else as well. Jupiter is off in this other corner here. And I'm going to guess Saturn, Jupiter, what would be next? Uranus or Neptune? Uranus goes faster than Neptune. Uranus. In between Saturn and Uranus, we find the underworld. Now, child, let me tell you something. If you don't understand what Jupiter and Uranus represents, I'm going to need you to go and figure out Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus. Yeah. Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus. That would definitely, I feel that would be representative of Uranus right there, that planet. You need to understand what that represents. You need to understand the energy. So for everybody that's listening to me that's like, I had to believe in that astrology stuff. Let me tell you something. The gift he gave right there was the gift to get down into the underworld. He used technology to help usher them through that. What's in between all that is Saturn. He literally took them through a time warp at a portal. What's a portal? An opening in time and space, that where you get from one energetic set point to another, from one energetic point to the next. That's what a portal is in its beginning and in its end. He went in between Jupiter and Saturn. It took Saturn. He said, let's go through Saturn, being Chronos, being the representation of time, structure, government. I can't with y'all. I cannot. Hey, Desiree, I don't know about this concert, but I never had a problem seeing Prince or my. Oh, but Desiree, okay, honey, can we take a time out real quick? Listen, that was a different type of music, and those were different type of people, and they represented different types of energies. Now, I'm not saying all the music that we grew up on. Baby, listen to me. I loved me some Prince, still do to this day. I love me some Michael, still do to this day. Like, I was a Prince person more so than a Michael person. You know, we had that, just, you know, okay? And I'm not saying everybody that came up during those 80s and 90s, right, that all the artists were just amazing. And they were all right and they were uptight and right and singing about love and light. That wasn't it. But what I'm saying to you is this: it's worse now. It's way worse now. We have had decades and decades and decades of buildup, plus the ability, the spiritual technology that is available, the frequency technology that is available, and the frequency understanding. The understanding of the energies is much more prolific. Just because We, as light workers, star seeds, light beings, indigo children, crystallines, ascended beings, earth angels, take your pick. Just because we as light beings are beginning to understand more and ascend and comprehend and integrate, please don't for a moment think that somehow the opposite equal and opposite isn't happening. Do you not think that they're understanding at an even greater rate as well and an even deeper depth? Our electromagnetic field is very different now. The energy's coming at us from, yeah, I'm going all off around the mulberry bush. Please, let's look at this here. So I want you to take a peek. So that eye right there, that big eye, right? You know, that is it is a bastardization of the eye of Horus, which represents knowledge, right? Good knowledge, creative knowledge. Don't believe the hype about what they told you about the Egyptians. Hello? Don't believe that hype. My point is this. That's the eye. That's that eye. So now we have this cosmic looking eye looking down. All of this symbolism, if if you're in tune, I ain't see any of this till after all this was over because I ain't checking for Travis Scott. I don't want to be bothered with his rage filled, anger filled, mosh pitting, drug induced. You know, he tell people to spit on them, other people, and get them, and go on and jump and do all these kinds of crazy things. You know what I'm saying? I'm not up. I'm not around. I don't have time for all that mess. But when you look at this symbolism, it's very. If you know anything about anything, he was opening up a portal and sucking them in. And then we have this astral world where he's on this other world. Now, this looks a lot like, if you've watched Doctor Strange, it looks like Dormammu's um, habitat. The question is, did they promote? Let me pop this chat out so I can see it. The question is, did they promote that picture for that concert? Yes, they certainly did. Yes, they did, dear. Yes, they did. Okay, let's look at a couple other things while I'm here, while I'm in this section. We talked about this whole 8, right? Notice there's 8. There are 8 pyrotechnics in front of the portal that they constructed. Up in the top, again, I didn't grab the video because I don't want to get a channel strike. Y'all can, it's all over TikTok. It's all over Instagram. There's compilations all over YouTube where you can see the first 40-second intro. The intro up in that corner of that stage, up at the top of that mountain, there's a phoenix there, right? That shows up. Now the phoenix is not bad. The number 8 is not bad. In used in this way and in this manner, yeah, it's a freaking problem. All right. Let's talk about number 8 energy. I'm going to get back into that. Number 8 is the great balancer. You will reap what you have sown. And that's why I wanted to point out something about this here roller coaster descending into, what we would call the pits of hell. I'm not going to debate with you right now whether or not hell exists or not. Let's just say down into the depths of the underworld in the lower vibrational, right, area. Okay. He's been sowing that for a long time. He's been sowing rage at his concerts. He's been sowing anger. He's been sowing all of this for a long time. So while the number 8 is fabulous energy when used for good and used in the light, okay, it is wonderful energy. It is the energy of infinity. It is the energy of balance. The 8th house energy is the energy of other people's resources And when in a proper way, other people's resources can come together. It's an energy of great contracts. It's an energy, right? It's this energy of balance. It is the energy of transformation. It is scorpionic energy. Scorpios are represented by 3 animal totems. We actually ended up talking about this a few weeks back. The eagle, the scorpion, and the phoenix, because Scorpio represents personal transformation, individual transformation, individual death and rebirth. I want to go back to something, and I don't know if I want to be able to zoom in. Oh, is it here? God dog it. No, it's not. I'm going to see if I can find this picture, and I'll see if I can bring it on, of him and this. Hang on, guys. Let me see what I can do. Hold on one second. Add source media file. I want you all to see also the picture of him in this t-shirt. Hold on. Let me find it. You guys have probably seen it. I'm sure you guys have seen it already, but I want to. Here's one. You can see it better here. Bear with me one second, guys. Okay, so I'm going to be able to find it. All right, here we go. We're going to bring it up. Okay. I'm just going to blow this up. I'll get rid of it in a second. You guys see where there are, on the blue side, people are walking through this doorway or this portal, and they're falling off. And what's being released back here are what you would probably call devils, demons. But that one that's walking through, you see what ends up happening is that the blue, or the human soul, goes through the portal. And then when that soul is released, because it's been an untimely or a violent or an unexpected death in a either painful or traumatic way, that can be a result that the spirit then is so disoriented. And the question is, disoriented, disgruntled, whatever, just at dis-ease. The question then becomes, is he able to truly be a Pied Piper and bring them through that portal, and then, right, kind of keep them at unrest so they would do that bidding? That's a lot. I get it, guys. I know that's a lot. But we have to talk about these things. We got to talk about it. They got horns. Strange is not even. Anyway, let's get back to the energy of 8. I'm sorry, what we're saying, Pearl Jam t-shirt and Pearl Jam had the same thing happen at their concert 21 years ago. Oh my. Okay, I did not know that. Thank you. All right, number 8, right? So we were talking about 8th house energy. Number 8 energy. The number 8 creates balance between material and spiritual worlds. When out of balance, can enhance anger, aggression, and greed. Other people's resources, beloved. This is why it was critical that we had 8, right? Show up, 8 pillars of fire. The phoenix representing 8th house energy. Okay? Let me go on and see if I can't locate menu, browse. Let me see if I can't locate. Let's bring that transit chart up. That was a doozy and a half. It happened when the sun, let me go here. Hold on. I'm going to bring this up for y'all. Oh, not that. Sorry, my bad. If you can see this here, the sun, remember, you guys might remember, the sun was in the 8th house along with Mars, along with Mercury, along with transiting, beginning to transit, coming into transit with his Pluto in retrograde. So if you were going to, and in fact, these I would say I would call the sun and Pluto at his, I would call it conjunct. It's within 3 or 4 3 degrees of his natal Pluto, which means that this was the ultimate time for him to actually transform or transfigure something, to use other people's resources, aka energy, to use everything of darkness, occult. I'm not saying Scorpios are dark or occultish, but you know, sometimes Scorpios can be considered to have kind of dark energy. But that whole concept, right, is usually, you know, that is a house of the occult, of hidden wisdom. Could be good hidden wisdom, could be bad hidden wisdom. Okay? And we have this like very visceral who you are at, and in your core. This was his moment to change who he was and to communicate it in an aggressive way to the world. And he was really on top of all that because his natal moon was conjunct the south node, and also then absolutely conjunct the transiting moon, meaning this was the perfect time for him to be very Sagittarian in his energy. Pied Piper, Sagittarians sometimes, I'm not down talking any particular sign, but sometimes can also be very, let's just say, competitive, right? They're charismatic. There's a lot going on. There was a lot going on. Now, so using that 8th house energy, using that number 8 energy, this is what happened. I want to really go into the numerology of this. He created this sensation of being out of balance, and you know, kept everybody off kilter. And how do I know that he kept everybody off kilter? Let me tell you something. If you go back and you listen to any of the TikTok videos, we talked about this the other day, any of the TikTok videos where they're talking about these strange sounds, tones were being played throughout the entirety of the day, and people were just randomly passing the frick out. There was just random pass outs happening. They come to, right? Everybody was off kilter. Everything was off. People bum rushed. There was 4 times as many people there that was supposed to be. 4 times as many people as there were supposed to be. Everybody is off. People are trying to figure out what's going on. There was not cohesiveness with security. EMS, EMTs were way over, like they were so overwhelmed. The security guards, there's a number of reports that the security guards, some of these people have never been a security guard day in their life. They didn't sign anything. They had no training. They were paid in by a cash app. Are you serious right now? This is what you're doing? Well, it is what you're doing if you want this result. If you want chaos, there is such a thing as chaos magic, and this is what was created. Chaos ritual, chaos descent. This was not an ascension convention. This was a decent, this was a, I'm going to do this so that I can attain the power, the wealth that I believe I deserve, or I have already said that I want, and this is the price we're going to pay. Those tones that were played lower energy, and when I can sense in my own astral body where they hit at a low octave to the lower heart chakra. They hit at a low octave in the root chakra, which then kind of like translates back up, and sacral. There's two to three levels of richness in those tones. One hits at the bottom of at just a little bit below the root chakra. One hits a little bit below the sacral, and then there's another one that's like hitting just below a solar plexus. So what happens is, you mirror octavely your lower three chakras to your upper three chakras, and in the midst of that, it caught between the two is your heart chakra. And when I tell you, it feels like it's going like I can't even make it because it's such deep. It feels like it's sucking the energy out of you. I believe there are wavelengths within there that activated certain things in certain people. And it was doing it all day. And it was building, and it was building, and it was creating confusion, chaos, people dazed, confused, all sorts of things. Now, and so for a long time, they had to tell us there was only 8 people that died. Why? Because we needed a completion of the 8th cycle. Well, Desiree, the comment is that that security was lax at several locations. It's not even just that it was lax. I'm going to say that those guys did the best that they could do with what they were given, and they were given an incomplete setup. They were only supposed to have 50,000 people there. Tweets went out earlier in the day. Hey, if y'all don't have the money, you ain't bought a ticket, doesn't matter, come on, bum rush it, sneak in. You end up with 200,000 people. You end up with 200,000 people, not all of them, of course, but way more than should have been within these barricades that were set up. That had there only been 50,000, people could have come in and out. There would have been a flow of people, a flow of energy. Instead, they are completely packed, and I'm telling you, and this has been seen by numerous people, so that eyewitness accounts, those people died before, except for the one that just died in the hospital. Those people all died before the crowd surge happened. Every last one of them. And all of them died of heart attacks. Now, the reason why we were told only 8 died, there's been many more, is because there had to be a completion of the cycle of the number 8. Completely. There had to be a completion of the cycle of the magic that was being created as a result of the number 8. Now let's look at something else. Just yesterday, the 9th person died. Rest in peace. Rest in power. 9 energy. We've now moved into 9. We're moving through the cycle of what's going on here. 9 energy, the great multiplier. Any number multiplied by 9 reduces to 9. I want you to remember that, because anything that he is thus far setting, if anything that's being set up behind the scenes that we don't know, if there's actual rituals being performed right now behind the scenes somewhere that we don't know about, it's being done now, because now we've entered into the 9 cycle. Anything that is multiplied by the number 9 reduces back down. In other words, it's the great multiplier. it's kind of this energy that cannot literally, no energy can be destroyed. But if you think about it, it's like complete all within itself. And it turns anything it touches into itself. Anytime you multiply a number by the number 9, it will always be able to be reduced back to 9. That means it basically turns anything into itself. It is self-containing, self-complete, and self-replicating. This is why when we think of 9 in numerological terms in the tarot, 9 of cups, self-love, self-appreciative, you truly love yourself, yada, yada, yada. 9 of Pentacles, you've come into this sense of completion, nothing missing, nothing broken. You are independently abundant. You are independently, self-satisfied. You're not looking for anyone outside of yourself to complete you. So now he's moving into this realm of fulfillment, of realization. Now, this is energetically. I'm not talking legally. I'm not talking anything else. 9 also represents a global consciousness. Remember, the 8 brings balance between the spirit and material worlds. 9 is a global consciousness. It lives in the world and understands all the interconnections within this world to create self-fulfillment, to create multiplication. The negative side, it can be condescending, cold, and apathetic to the suffering of others because it is narcissistic. And it is the end of the cycle, often representing death. We're going to see a slowdown in the number of lawsuits, civil suits filed. This thing is, I would imagine, just from what I'm seeing and sensing, and what I'm seeing physically, I'm not going to say that I'm sensing this whole thing. We're going to start seeing it die down and be swept under the rug very soon. It is accomplishing that which it needs to by the time of the full moon, which is 18th, 19th, depending upon where you are in the world, the lunar eclipse, 18 being reduced down to 1 plus 8 equals what? 9. We'll see I believe that's when we'll begin to see a real sense of closure. But it depends on what the light side does, right? But on that side, we'll begin to see a sense of closure. Why? Because the cycle will be complete. Things can be released. Now, if we begin to see it in a 10th and 11th person, I could see that. I could see us knowing them openly saying up to 11 people. I can see that by the time we get to the full moon. So we can complete the cycle. So we can complete the ritual. Now, Travis Scott life path number 9. This is by his birth date. This is why this 9 is important. I knew 9 energy was important. See, now, do you see what I'm saying? That's his life path number. So we've moved out of the change number and the contractual agreement number. Y'all, if y'all y'all can find this information out from anywhere, that's a good astrological, but, a person, teacher, but I teach some of this in my practical light worker program. Okay, so if you're ready to kind of step into that realm and you're ready to come out here and help us do this work and work with your tribe, I want you to click the Linktree link down below. If I find it, I'll get it to you, and I want you to book your call with me, and let's see if you're ready. Right? We don't take everybody on, but these are some of the things we teach. Yeah, that's a shameless plug, guys. We're training light workers. Bottom line, we're training light workers so you all can get out and help people understand so that you don't get caught up in this kind of stuff. So listen, his life path number is 9. That's why I'm not shocked. Once the contract here, 8th house energy, once the contract was written, was negotiated, and his portion of it was executed. Maybe it's poor choice of words, but this is what I'm seeing. Once this 8 got done, This contract using other people's resources or energy. Now, there's a lot more I could tell you about the energy, and hopefully we'll get to it. Now we move into 9, because now we're ready to let whatever that was that he wished to have die. And now he's ready to be reborn as a phoenix. A person who's born with life path 9 tends to be spiritual and connects deeply with religion. Did say light or dark. Whether it stems from a need for strength during times of struggle or a natural desire to relate to something greater than themselves, life path number 9 people often seek courage and meaning from a higher source. Or I would say everything is always equal but opposite as well, a lower source. Intuitions and gut reactions may even outweigh logic. This connection to the divine gives these people a safety net of confidence as they continue to make their way through life's good times and bad. If you flip that on its head, if you flip that on its ear, then you can see how someone can do something so dark. Now, this is all allegedly, this is all speculation, this is all me talking to you. Now, let's get back to it. When I ran Travis Scott's real name, it's Jacques Berman Webster II. How we got Travis Scott out of that child, I will never know. Somebody will have to tell me how he got Travis Scott from all of that there. I know you're not going to be able to see this that well, but hopefully maybe you can zoom in when you get the opportunity. I ran his name through name numerology on astroseek.com. His name number or destiny number for his real name is 1. This describes our character and inner strength, resourcefulness, and nervous tension. Soul urge number, heart's desires, number 3, that describes our inner ideals and hidden desires, the desire for creativity, independence, and connection with others. And his personality number is 7. Now, the soul urge number is derived from the vowels of your name at birth. The personality number is derived from the consonants of your name at birth, and that's 7. And the personality number describes the real value of our character, good imagination, and overcoming obstacles. So, other than that nervous tension, I'm cool with that. As Jacques Berman, I don't know which way his mama name, I'm going to assume it's probably Jacques Berman Webster II, because not too many of us are running around here pronouncing that actually as it should be, which is Jacques, French. Anyway, when I ran Travis Scott, what ends up happening is the personality number he then decides to integrate into his soul when he changed his name. Let's look. 1 plus 3, so his name number and his soul urge number, 1 plus 3 equals 4, correct? The name number of Travis Scott, the destiny number then becomes, he took his name number and he took his soul urge number and he put them together, describes character, inner strength, responsibility, organizational talent. So he merged the resourcefulness and this nervous tension along with desire for creativity, independence, and connection, and then made that into responsibility and organizational talent. Now, it's interesting, he's, Kylie baby daddy. And he's, what's her name's baby daddy too, ain't he? Ain't he, what's this child's name? Why I can't think of her. That was dating the brother and had a baby by the brother. He just all up in that Kardashian mess, ain't he? Anyway, he wants great responsibility. He wants all this stuff, and he was determined to get it. Responsibility, the dark side of that is irresponsibility. Don't really care. Does not feel a sense of responsibility for what happened to those people because it was done. It was done to profit him. Then he took his personality number and then created a soul urge number making that his heart desire. Now remember, the personality that we had over here was good imagination and overcoming obstacles, so he can MacGyver his way out of stuff. Now when we make that a soul heart number or a heart's desire number, this turns into the desire for a rich inner life, even at the price of loneliness and isolation. And I will purport to you that this is being said on a light scale, a scale of higher frequency, but I would say he has the desire for a rich life. Look who he's keeping having babies by. Look who he hang with. This is what he wants, even at the price of loneliness and isolation and perhaps other people's existence. And then we have his personality number derived from the consonants of the name, the real value of his character, interest in the opinions of others. Success is possible in art. The opinion of others, of your art being music, matters. The opinion of others matters. And so he whipped up he ginned up, he put quarters in the back, batteries in the back. I don't care what saying you want to use. All of these young people and children, there's a 9-year-old clinging to life. There's a 9-year-old clinging to life right now. 9 at they fell in love with him. They adored him. They idolized him. He was their Rage Against the Machine. He was their Pearl Jam. He was their fight against the man. He was their, right? That's who he was to them. That's who he was to them. That's who he became. That's who he became. And then by doing that and then twisting it and then putting all of the rest of this together, we end up with the tragedy that we end up with. We end up with the tragedy we end up with. Now, it's going deeper than others. I'm not sure what's funny. Maybe I said something funny. I went down some rabbit holes I didn't know I was going to go down. There's probably a few more I can break down, but I'm going to break some of this down now a little bit for you. I keep harping on the frequency of the energy of the tones that were played in between artists for a reason. We have to be careful with everything that we are ingesting, everything that we are partaking of, every time we're in crowds or even by ourselves. We have to be careful of the frequency of the information, of the music, of everything that we are putting into our being. There's going to be a lot that's going to come out very soon about certain things, and I'm even looking into the, biochemistry of certain viruses and why they're so insidious. I'm just going to say this. We have all become I'm sorry, hold on. I'm just going to, because I don't know what that was about. We are becoming much more aware as a result of 2020. I'm glad you did too, sweetie. The fact that we are energetic beings having a human experience. But I don't think that a lot of us understand what that really means. I don't think that a lot of us fully comprehend the fact that because we're energetic beings having a human experience, our energetic being is the puppeteer of the avatar, of the meat suit. Oh, okay. I apologize. I'll restore it. Thank you. I'm so sorry, Tabby. I'm so sorry. She was laughing because I was like, we don't necessarily pronounce it French. Black folks, I love us. I love us, but we will butcher a name sometimes. Anyway, I apologize, Tabby. We don't understand though how energy then, in and of itself, controls, constructs, deconstructs, destroys. Right? Our very meat suit, our avatar. And it can have ramifications for us in the afterlife. In once we transition, because depending upon how you transition and where you transition, and how that happens, you might have to come back and do it again so that you can clear out some of this energy you picked up. Or things that you've done. Everything that I have thus far figured out points to the fact to me, and you know what, I'm not even going to sit here and tell you for sure, for positive, that man knew all of what I just showed you. I don't know if he knew all about all of his numerology, but let me tell you something. Those people that are elite and celebrities and in power know a hell of a lot more about that stuff than you and I do. Well, yes. They've known about it longer than, they've known about this stuff historically for much longer than we have. And why is that? Because we've been too busy running around talking about that's of the devil, that's evil, that's this, that's that. And we've been too busy up underneath a damn pew and playing an organ and jumping up and down and get slain in the Holy Ghost and slam a tambourine. No offense. I'm just going to pick on my people. I ain't going to pick on the rest of y'all. But we've been too busy being bothered with the religion of it all and ignoring the power of the very quote unquote religion we're supposed to be believing in to really pay attention to the fact that here these people that took every weapon, every bit of knowledge, every bit of spiritual technology and twisted it and used it and turned it on its ear for something else. But we got to make sure it's of God. Well, was this of God? Now I'm just getting a little bit upset because you know what ticks me off is you have these people that's running around here, this, that, the third, and they the first ones to holler or hoop and go to church or do this or do that or whatever. But you're sending your child to a damn Travis Scott concert. Will y'all please come on with it? You don't even know what your kids are listening to. And if you weren't so uptight about everything, maybe your 20-somethings would... Okay, you know what? Let me just stop playing. Let me stop, because I'm going to get myself into trouble real fast here. That's not what this is about. But I'm just saying to wake up. I need people to wake up. Okay? This is why I'm breaking this down, because everything, again, everything is everything. Everything is energy. Everything is everything. They know these things and they are using them. They know the power of word magic. They know the power of the cosmic energies. They know the power of the numerology. They know the power of the astrology and the zodiac. They know the power that we have at our disposal. My question is, when will we? Pay attention to everything, because nothing in the world is as it seems. There are no coincidences, there are only synchronicities. Now, do I believe this was some sort of ritual? I'm really leaning towards that. I'm really leaning towards it. Now, I'm not going to sit here and go along with saying, calling Kris Kardashian, a high witch and stuff. Like, y'all, that's going a little bit too deep for me. I can't go along with that. I shouldn't say I can't. I'm not going to. I've not seen enough evidence in this particular case to say that about that woman. That's a lot to say. And I'm not, again, not even actually saying that Travis Scott, it looks a whole very, very ritualistic to me. I'm just saying, if it walked like a duck, talk like a duck, quack like a duck, could be a duck. There's too many synchronicities to me. Now, do I think that that we're not going to hear about any more people passing away? Potentially. If we do, however, it will be all the way up through 11, because we'll end up ending the cycle at 10 and starting the new one, and then 11 being a life path, like life, right? 11, 11, yada, 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 yada. And it would be a new lunar eclipse. I could see it, especially if the 11th person, if that would be the unfortunate reality that the 11th person then transitions on 11/18. Yeah. No, it was definitely if it was a ritual for anybody, it was for him. Kris Kardashian? I don't know. I didn't. Kris Kardashian's a music video? I don't know. So anyway, if it were, because I believe the full moon it'll be fuller on 11/18 here. I think that's when the height of the full moon will be late on 11/18. And if you reduce 11/18 down, 1 plus 1 is 2, 1 plus 8 is 9, 2 plus 9 is 11. It will be shortly after the full moon. I do believe it will be swept under the rug. So, but the one thing I do want you all to remember, if you remember nothing else from this entire chat that we've had today and the chat we had the other day, what I do want you to remember is this. The dark has not, stop. The dark has not created anything. Okay? There's no creation that has been done. The dark uses everything that we have in the light to do what it does. Right? And I'm telling you that because I want you to understand, just like I pointed out all the numerology and all the just there, those are our tools. Astrology is ours. Numerology is ours. Magic is ours. Word magic, thought magic, magic, candle magic. It's ours. The Eye of Horus is ours. The Ankh is ours. The seed of life, the flower of life is ours. So let's start using it. Thank you, Gemini. All right, guys. Stop. I'm going to, stop, babe. Stop it. Okay. I'm going to put a link down here in the chat. We'll pin the message. If you guys, again, there are some people that are in this chat right now that are a part of the Practical Lightworker program. It is a 12-week program that is designed to get you working in your light and get you to getting your message out, creating an online sustainable business, sustainable practice, so that you too can help people transform and go through their transformational processes, whether it's the dark night of the soul or just awakening or whatever it is. weight loss, holistic medicine, whatever, right? We're here for you to help you with that. But space is, I'm not going to say necessarily limited, but we do go through a process to make sure that you're ready. Okay. And so if you're ready to take that jump and invest in yourself in this program, because by the end of that 12 weeks, you will be in business. You will be transforming, and there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with having an even energy exchange, because that will allow you then to quit your 9 to 5, and that will, if you have one, and then that will allow you then to do things like this, right? Be out here helping people just generally all the time, right? So if you're ready to invest in yourself, click that link, book a 15-minute call, discovery call with either myself or one of my team members, and let's see if you're a really good candidate for the Practical Light Worker. Now, we're going to be getting together. Now, I might even jump on later on tonight. I don't know yet. I got to eat. But I will definitely tomorrow for the Sunday Soul podcast on November the 14th, for those of you whenever you're listening to this, we're going to be talking about some things. We are going to talk about twin flames. However, I do believe I now have a clear understanding of them, and we're going to talk about twin flames, aka what I am calling now sacred creators. You are not going to want to miss that. I'm going to record it. We'll play it, and then we will get together afterwards and have a chitty chat about it afterwards. So look on my community tab. I'm going to put it everywhere. Let everybody know. Yes, we're going to be talking about them during twin flames, but I'm going to show you how I believe now that truly what twin flames really are sacred creators. You are not going to want to miss that episode. Peace, love, blessings, and joy be unto you today, tomorrow, and for all eternity. Oh, don't forget to do the YouTube things, like, subscribe, and share this. I'll talk to you guys soon. Namaste. Bye, everyone.